So I want to do a review on this park. I actually am injured right now, but I can't skate. My knee's so messed up. But I've lived by this park for a couple of years now. I actually don't really skate here that much. I have been skating street since I lived in this area a lot because I have a spot. But so I'll start with this. There's this round rail. It's like a down rail. It could be an up rail too. It's really long from that way if you're skating it as an up rail, I think. It'd be fun this way. It's pretty low. And then you have this Pier 7 manual pad basically, but I always skate this when I'm here, and it's really chunked out. It needs to be fixed. I've been meaning to do that, but so I mean, your trucks are gonna stop there if you're doing grinds or tail slide, no slides or whatever. It's pretty, I mean, as a manual pad, it's sick. It's not too far of a drop. I do like all this open space in the park because you could just do flatland stuff, but this park's always really busy. It's rare for me to be here without anybody here. It's also part of an indoor park, so that's mainly like a transition only park, and I've never skated it. I lived in this area for 3 years, and I've been meaning to, but it's not really open that much. It's like a YMCA too, and I don't like to skate with like little kids and stuff. I feel weird. I like to skate by myself, so skating an indoor skate park, I mean, I used to as a kid, but I don't really do it nowadays. Anyways, so you got this. It's got a normal size curb, but you could never really hit it because this rail's right here. One thing about this Pier 7 curb right here, this ledge, is if you come off early and you're riding fakie or something, you're gonna hit that. So that's one thing I've noticed about that. That rail looks fun. It's a square rail though, so I've never hit it personally. I don't really skate rails, but then it's got this. I see this in a lot of videos. Some of the pro skaters around here shoot clips on this. I think the chocolate tour video was shot here. I mean, it's a pretty rad park because, I mean, it's just supposed to be like a street park because I have an indoor transition park over here. So this was built by Grindline. There's like a huge flow bowl really close to here, so I can see why they didn't build another bowl or anything like that, but I feel like this park is kind of weird and lacking in ways because Grindline, in my opinion, is not that good at making like street skate parks. In my opinion, they make things too high, or like I feel like a lot of this stuff is off here. Like this right here, if this is just a flat bank that you didn't have to ollie up of, that'd be cool because then you could hit that, but you got to ollie up that. It's higher than a normal curb, I'd say. It's maybe a foot. I don't like that about this park, and I don't like this because that ledge is so high, or this is nice, this little flat bank, but I mean, ollieing onto that's not that easy. Or even from that way, there's a huge gap, but there is a little pyramid right here, but I find it hard to hit because you have that right there, and if you're regular, then you also have this little like hubba ledge on the other side, so it's kind of hard to hit. And then it's cut out at the bottom by this curb, right? So over there you got a hip, a 4-foot quarter pipe. That's pretty nice, actually. The transition's pretty proper on that one. So you're kind of going downhill when you go through here from over there, It's not very flowy. I mean, they could have built just like a small curb or like some cool like obstacles that aren't so hard, in my opinion. This is really sick about this park. There's a really long round rail. It's a flat rail, but if you're regular foot and you're doing like a board slide, if you're doing a backslide board slide or something, you come off right here, you're almost to the very edge right here. So it's like, this should have been built back more, you know what I mean? So I was really stoked to find that, but I find it hard to skate because the roll away, I mean, the roll up is good because you can come off of, that little quarter pipe or the flat bank, but If you were goofy, this would be sick. I don't know, you know, if you're just doing like basic board slide or something, I guess for 50/50s this would be sick, but you know, front side if you're regular or whatever you do. I mean, it's probably fun for some people. I'm just not a rail skater, so I'm still doing like basic board slides and shit on them the times that I've tried to skate them. But this little quarter pipe school, this hip, you know, Grindline can definitely nail a hip transition. They're awesome. Then you have a square down rail. I don't think I've ever seen anybody hit this, or this little hubba. It's like super long. Again, it's more for goofy footed people. Like I said, this part's really busy usually, and there's usually a lot of little kids, or Bellevue's more of like I don't know, it's like the higher end of Seattle, so there isn't much of a skate scene here, but there are quite a few skaters, or people come here from all over Seattle really to skate this, but it's cool if you're into this kind of shit. But let's see, you got how many stairs we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they're fairly long. I mean, just to get down, that's... My best advice to skate park builders is to not make everything so gnarly and hard to skate. Like, make a couple really hard obstacles, but if you could like tone it down a bit, it would help. I mean, you don't need to make everything huge. You can make a skate park with like 4 or 5 different size curbs, like a normal curb, a ride-on, and stuff like that, and it'd be sick. Like a manual pad that isn't super high. I mean, props for the Pure 7 manual pad, but it's also really hard to skate. You should put an angle iron on that, or granite top. I've waxed the shit out of it. It's really hard to slide. I've never tried to grind it, honestly, but still. Anyways, you got this stuff. You got this little ledge. This might be cool. Again, this is like too high. I couldn't see myself really doing much in this, maybe. I don't know. Then you have this, a really steep little... You got some angle iron coping, I guess, right here. You can't really... I don't know what you could do on that. If it was a little bit higher and not as steep, would be cool. I don't know why they did that. It would be cool as just a ledge or something too. Then you got this Euro gap. It's pretty long, and it's... I mean, I've never hit that, but... Then you have another one of these. I think it's like granite on the top of it, but it's really worn down. I've seen people do shit on this. I don't see any seams on that. There are some down there. It's kind of notched out right here. But yeah, what do you got? A 2 flat 2. Again, I'm 45. If I was 20 again, I was way into skating stairs, but that's a pretty small stair set, actually. I could do that if I was younger. I could do it now if I wanted to, but well, not right now. I have a knee injury. Then you have this, which I don't know. Again, I don't skate rails or hubbas or down rails because... Then you have this. I see this at a lot of Grindline parks around here. Like the one in Issaquah has one just like this, but I think it has round steel coping on it. This is too steep. I think this is trying to be like a China bank, you know? I see that in a lot of their parks. They'll try to like redo the China banks and stuff. But it's like a little bit too steep too. If you guys could like maybe mellow out the transition. Then you have this Jersey barrier that's like steep. I don't know. I've never tried to get on that. It's definitely more of an advanced. This is the reason why I actually wanted to come to this park, because I saw this online, but now that I've skated it, this is not long enough. The transition, if that was like maybe to here and less of a steeper transition, because you cannot get on that. It's really hard. I've tried many times. Maybe if you came from the top and you could do stuff into it. All right. But yeah, Bellevue, Washington. I don't know when they built this. I think 2012. Grindline. I'm sure the indoor park's pretty sick, but who knows when the fuck that's ever open. I see people set up those barricades and up on here and shit. The only really fun thing in this in this whole park is this flat bank into that. Honestly, and that gets old after about 5 minutes in my opinion. You do have this row right here. I think I've seen, there's like a 10-year-old kid who's sponsored by PAL and shit. I'm pretty sure he did this one. You'd have to gap out into it. That's crazy. That's high as fuck. That landing sucks too. You can't really see it. I guess you could skate these, but I don't think people around here are that creative, or people nowadays only think they can skate at a skate park all the time, so that's what they do. But some of the shit you could hit out here, I don't know why. I don't see any wax. I don't know. Bellevue, Washington. I honestly think they should make another park that's like really big. Like that entire, who uses this baseball field, you know? They could make that whole thing the skate park. They don't, because they want people to pay to go into that one, but anyway.